Welcome, JASA Talks, Edition 1, the inaugural edition. I can speak for myself, and by the way you look, we are super excited to be here today, and hopefully everybody can bear with us through the speed bumps of our first podcast.
Talk a little bit about how Matt and I met, how we developed this CBD center. This is just setting the stage for a bunch of guests that we have lined up, some heavy hitters in the industry.
We are here today with the first edition of JASA Talks, and I think a lot of people might not know who we are, or what JASA is, or even where the CBD Center is. So we are recording live here from our media room at the CBD Center located in East Greenwich, 5750 Post Road, Suite 1A to be exact, which is our second store. So what is the CBD Center of Rhode Island?
CBD Center of Rhode Island is the premier provider for everything CBD. Matt and I started this company March 8th last year. Is that the correct date?
March 8th, 2019 is where our CBD voyage began, with a small retail storefront located in Johnston, which was store number 1. And essentially opened up on March 8th as the first retail CBD-only store in Rhode Island, which was extremely exciting and extremely well received.
JASA is our stamp of approval. Going back to that light that Matt was talking about, when we started this business, we tested over about 500 products, and they came in ebbs and flows. I mean, you talking about gummies that had 0 CBD that cost $70, or something else that may said 1,000 milligrams. It came back at 400. So we knew right then and there that the COAs that came on a lot of products weren't necessarily true. Some were, some weren't. Majority were probably inaccurate. So we implemented here at the CBD Center fourth-party testing. So in order to get product on our shelves, it's got to be American-grown, non-GMO, and grown with organic practices. After they check those boxes, we send it off to our independent testing in Rhode Island. We utilize the 2 local labs, and we verify that's actually what's on the bottle is in the bottle. And I think that when that is true, and it's a clean product, that these products have efficacy. And the whole reason why CBD was brought forward and made legal in the United States is because of its efficacy with seizures, particularly children's, Dravet syndrome and Lennox-Gastaut. But we see it on an everyday basis. There's a big lack of, medical studies and trials, but sit in our shop, see the people come in, hear the real results, and I'm proud to be doing this with somebody who we grew up together playing hockey, and that we can make a big difference and really bring CBD to light in Rhode Island.
Many females really enjoy the aroma of the body butter. It is an all-inclusive moisturizer made for even sensitive areas. People lather themselves with these butters, and they swear by them. It is essentially just like it sounds. We're pretty simple here. A lot of the products, what it says on the front is exactly where it goes. Body butter. It goes on your body. It covers your whole body. A lot of women have come in and struggled over the years and had battles with adult acne. Our full spectrum facial cream has shown numerous times with in-house trials that proven to be effective against some scarring and other adult acne issues that people have fought over the years. JASA Daily Moisturizer, one of our top selling products. It is in a 4-ounce pump bottle. It is a daily lotion that people use daily. Same way people leave a hand cream around their house, this is that very similar type hand cream. However, it has CBD in it and all of its wonderful attributes. We see people utilizing these creams every day, coming back time and time again. What does that tell us? It must be working. New product alert here at JASA today. We have our full spectrum water soluble tincture. We have not carried many water soluble products. This one here is one that we will definitely be keeping on the shelves. Comes in a 600 and a 1200 milligram. It is a fruit punch flavor. How do you use a water-soluble product? Do you use it the same as a regular tincture? You do not. These products are made with a nano-emulsification process. They are made to be put into a drink. Drop them into your regular water that you walk around drinking throughout the day, and all day long, you're going to be sipping on your CBD.
Yeah, we had a great event from some guys called Bootleg Avocado. Mm-hmm. So they're putting together, they're really trying to bring cannabis and food together. They're building conversations that are really thoughtful. A lot of the people that attended are entrepreneurs from New York, Connecticut that want to get into the space, that are really, we're some of the first people in this space. So there's a lot to learn, right? The processes that we're going through, even the Cannabis Control Commission hasn't encountered how to separate dosages in ice cream, right? So we're going to set a standard. If there's another company that comes after us and wants to do ice cream, we'll already have something set in place. So there's lots of barriers and struggles and frustrations to go through, but we're also going to, try to pave the way for a lot of people. So some of the people last night at this event were interested in that and kind of how that process goes and how you decide what to do and how you can find regulations and how you can have conversations with your governing entity, which, in Massachusetts, there's not a lot of conversations that you can have with them. You can't speak with them directly. You can send specific emails, and most of the time they just send you a response like, hey, refer to, regulation 40.1, whatever. So for us, last night, it just gives us a chance to be in a room with a lot of people, learn from them, hear, questions that we haven't thought about yet, and be in New York. I mean, I think New York, right? Like, I love food. A lot of people in the room are always talking about this, talking about that. There were some people, around the perimeter that were passing out samples, passing out bites. There was a guy who had a dehydrated bananas from Hawaii, and like CBD banana bites, like dried fruit, and they were actually fantastic. So really just cool to see what's going on in their scene, right? I think we get so caught up in everyday life in your own little bubble of whatever kind of cannabis space you're in. So yeah,
that was a good night that I had at Sono. That was a great night, great event.
That was a fun one, yeah.
You had your friend Jolene in from Chicago.
Kitchen Toke, yeah. Kitchen Toke people. Kitchen Toke's publication out of Chicago based on food, wellness, and cannabis. Great stuff, great people. Her and her partner Frank put it together, and they're really trying to help us communicate what we're doing countrywide. I mean, Illinois is going to be a massive market. Chicago's going to be a huge market just from an innovation perspective alone. So we have lots of friends that are applying for licenses. I know that Jolene is going, I believe, for a dispensary license. So it's going to be having a whole new ball game of products, whole new ball game of podcasts and cooking events and demos and all types of things. So she's doing great work.
Yeah, I had the opportunity to meet her that night as well, and can't say enough great things about her. Another person who's kind of in it for the right reasons, somebody who uses cannabis in her daily routines.
Right.
Somebody who's in the weeds every day.
Right.
Rolled over her professional career into a really cool publication that comes out.
Yeah.
That publication comes out, folks, if you want to get it. It's quarterly, so it's not a monthly magazine. That's right.
Yep.
So
KitchenToke.com. Yeah, and they have lots of recipes on there too. It's kind of like a Pinterest of cannabis recipes, right? You can see images, you can see what the final product's going to look like. I feel like cooking is intimidating for a lot of people, so the way to guide people along is that you give really beautiful presentations and you can show the color's got to be this or the texture's got to be this, and so Kitchen Toke does great photography and really helps paint that picture for everybody. Yeah, I mean, I think for us, Sean Corley and I were putting together some fun dinners. I think some of them came from requests to do private events. Then we ended up putting our spin onto it and turning it into something else. We threw a lot that were our own, but cool venues, cool spaces, different vibe every time, right? We didn't want to be in the same dining room. Really try to mix it up from a food perspective, keep it seasonal, but also do some terpene mocktails when you walk in, right? Really focus on the introduction into the space. If you've never come to one of our dinners, what is your experience like? Because a lot of people are afraid of edibles, right? They've had some unique, usually, hey, this brownie I had in college, blah, blah, blah. I hated it. So that's like the standard template for it, but there's variations. So we want people to, when they walk in, to know that we know that. We have that in mind. That's not what we're trying to do. We want you to have a great time. We don't want you to walk out feeling like a vegetable. We want you to enjoy yourself, really stay away from the alcohol. So that was carrot juice, tonic water, and then we had some black lime OG terps in that, and put a little orange peel in there. So carrot and orange. And I think, carrot juice is, people feel like it's just like a workout, like a dietary supplement, right? You're juicing, you're going to a healthy version. So we wanted to play on that, keep it healthy, but also not make it so earthy, not make it so so funky. So the terps help do that. But even just merging carrots and orange, total classic flavor pairing in lots of different cuisines. We did a chamomile lemonade. This was a spice orange soda. So this was kind of a Sicilian kind of wintry beverage that they used to bottle, that they still bottle. So we made a version of that. So basically made a simple syrup, so equal parts sugar and water. Put some star anise, some cloves, a little bit of coriander seed in that, let it steep and get that flavor into it. And then we had some fresh orange juice, a little bit of soda water, and some do-si-do terps. So again, really just trying to, when you step in and you take your first drink and you take your first bite, that first thing that puts in your mouth, it needs to be familiar yet fun. It needs to be safe yet exciting. It needs to be, something that really gets your mouth going, like, wow, what is this? I don't know what it is. I like it. I don't, it's super balanced, super not too sweet, not super savory, but funky, but also, again, have some comfortability in there from big familiar flavors. But we try to just put a little spin on it and get people going. So we usually have past bites, when people come in. So they have a mocktail, they have a couple of past bites, and that'll, again, same thing, give them a little bit of salt, which will make them want to take another sip, right? Just get them on the cycle of, hey, you're about to start a dinner party, get their stomachs excited. Give them a few bites that just trying to challenge their mouth, right? More so than fill them up.
And now you got them. You got them on the hook.
Yeah,
we got the fish on the hook, baby.
Yeah, we get them on the hook, and then the menus are always different. I mean, that one right there. So those are just mini potato skins. I love potatoes.
Me
and
too.
I don't know what it is, but making like mini potato skins. So we basically roasted these potatoes, dug out the center, mashed all the the stuff that we dug out with some cannabis butter, some chives, a little bit of sour cream, a couple other things that were in there, and then we pipe them back into the shells. So, the dinner series is something where we also get to do a little testing, right? They're kind of our guinea pigs on some flavors. So I've made some ice cream flavors that I would not necessarily ever bottle. Any package, and beverages we necessarily wouldn't bottle, ice cream we wouldn't necessarily package, and check it out, see what the reaction is, right? We get a free reaction from them. So it's usually as an additional course, there's like a separate scoop or as a palate cleanser. So if someone doesn't care for it, they still have plenty of food that they'll enjoy. But overall, it's great for networking, for marketing, but also really just to people. I think understand us a lot more once they've come to one of our events. They understand who we are. They understand what we're about to put on the shelf. They understand what we're going through, how we explain things, why we've curated things for them.
Yeah, so when we're looking for a strain, what's most important to me is,
One,
does the plant stretch?
mm-hmm.
Is it a short bush, or is it like nice and lanky with good node spacing? That's the first thing I'm looking for. I'm always going to try to pick a plant. If I'm pheno hunting, I'm going to pay attention first to those ones that have nice plant structure, good node spacing. The next thing I look for is the bud size. Like, how does the yield look? And then I'll go and I'll smell that bud. How does it smell while it's growing? And then after you chop it, then it's how potent is this? What's the smoke like? What's the flavor like?
Mm-hmm.
Does it taste like it smells? And am I getting a good feeling, a nice strong feeling I like from it?
Yep.
And then after that, it's how does this strain dump? When I wash the strain,
Yeah.
can I get a bunch of hash out of it?
Do you care if it's a tough clip or an easy clip? Or
Like how many leaves are on it?
Yeah, like if it has a high calyx to leaf ratio, and it's like a dream to dream the trim, like a couple leaves here and there. You know what I mean?
That's definitely something I look at too. That's another thing you can look at while it's growing before you chop it. But I look at that's like the last thing. Like if it fits all the other factors,
check.
You got to trim the leaves off those guys. Like they got to trim the leaves off because it's worth it.
Yeah,
but,
man. And for what you're doing with those leaves, that's important.
I will say a lot of leafy strains normally don't wash well. I've noticed like any strain that has like a ton of leaves on it.
Yep.
It normally is like it's like really greasy and not and the trichomes aren't as like sandy. Like the heads don't like snap off.
Yep.
They like wash out into the water. You can almost see it looks like an oil spill, like in the water. We got
Everything's blooming, baby.
everything is blooming. Every system is a different strain. So right here, this is what we're chopping, I think, tomorrow. These are the Green Fire OGs. Sativa.
That smells like some tardy fire, baby.
Tart,
Some
right?
sticky. Yes, tart.
So all of our strains, we run at 9 weeks.
That's one of the qualifications for one of the strands to hit your room. It's got to be a 9-weeker.
Yeah, because we do the perpetual.
Got to fall in line.
You got a 10-weeker in there, then it makes one set of plants in the bedroom. Veg a week longer, then they get too big. And
And there's like a high calyx to leaf ratio, so apparently it looks pretty relatively nice to trim.
Yes.
And these undercurrent buckets, those are 14 gallons?
13.
13 gallons,
These are 13
okay.
gallons.
Bigger roots, bigger fruits, right?
Bigger roots, bigger fruits.
They're helping me take this cup to like the next level. You know, this is gonna be like solar palooza out there. We have a liquor license for the people who want to drink at this event, and then we also have the dispensary, which is on their own property, but it abuts where we're doing the event to. So people will be able to take the little golf cart shuttles to the dispensary, buy bud, come back over to the event. You know, can also
That's what's up. That's like VIP, getting the golf cart ride to the, the dispensary, pick up the weed and get the golf ride back. That's what's up.
And then you can smoke it on the golf cart probably. You know, I don't know. Once you get onto the private property, you know, you can't smoke on the dispensary properties. But once you're off their premises, then you know you're free to follow the mass rec laws. You know, tickets are up right now. We just dropped some of the pre-sale ones. Those are on cultivatorscup.eventbrite.com. So. You can search Cultivators Cup on Eventbrite, or you can go to that link and you can get the tickets.
All right, that's a wrap. Pack it up.
Very nice packaging.
Yeah, it's nice.
I like this packaging.
Their whole place is nice, man. I can't even believe that somebody was ever able to draw that place. Like to just take like an idea and make it on paper is like the biggest crazy part of the whole thing. When I walk around that place, I'm like, who the fuck drew
How
this
big is
place?
that place?
I think they have like 100,000 square feet or something.
Nice.
And
it looks like they were growing vertical too.
Yeah, and they have way more room for expansion next door.
Mm-hmm.
So it's nice.
Yeah, Somerset's pretty cool. It's right on the Rhode Island border.
Yeah, check them out. 1400 Brayton Point Road in Somerset. Tell them the pharmacist sent you. Maybe they'll hook it up. Maybe they won't. But
So is it just flower? Or are you going to have an edible division?
this one's just flower, but we definitely talk. We're going to do every aspect. We're going to do topicals, edibles, carts. You know, the flower is just the first start. Get everything going.
All right, that's a wrap. Pack it up.
I'm sure there's a lot of folks out there listening that know Mammoth P, and I'm sure there's a lot that don't. Let's talk about, Mammoth P. They got a really cool story. I don't want to butcher it, so I'm going to leave that up to you.
Mm-hmm.
Let's dig into Mammoth P itself and the company, and then maybe the products itself after that.
Yeah, so Mammoth has a really interesting backstory. A lot of people don't know. We are based out of Fort Collins, Colorado, and we were developed by 3 microbiologists at Colorado State University. And basically the school had gotten a grant to study soil microbes because we were trying to figure out how to allow plants to absorb more of the nutrients that we're feeding them. Mostly because of ecological issues. In large-scale farming, we're dumping tons of nutrients into the soil, and it's being mineralized, and then it's not being used by the plants, but it's going into runoff, causing algae blooms and things like that. One of the main causes of algae blooms is phosphorus runoff. Phosphorus is also the most important nutrient for flowering plants. Mm-hmm. So that was kind of where their head was at, is how can we allow the plants to absorb more of the phosphorus that we're feeding them? And a lot of it was, okay, naturally, soil microbes break down nutrients and allow the plants to absorb them. So that's where we went with it. They developed a biotechnology that allows them to select bacteria based off specific function. So we cycle through billions of strains of soil microbes that we collected from all over the country. We actually, some of our clients helped us. They sent in soil samples for us to kind of run through this DNA sequencing system. And that allows us to pull specific strains, and then from those, we put them together in different microbial communities to see how they would function together. And that's how Mammoth P came to be, was basically just a process of elimination of studying these bacteria in these microbial communities and watching how they function, and then taking the ones that broke down phosphorus the best and kept putting them together. And so we came down with 4 strains that specifically targets phosphorus. They break down phosphorus 30 times stronger than any bacteria known in nature. They're very, very strong as far as they can survive harsh environments. They do really well in a water environment, which is why we can run it in hydroponics and through dosing systems and everything. But yeah, it was cool kind of how they discovered it, because it wasn't even intended for necessarily the cannabis market. But once we developed that product, we ran trials on absolutely everything. And we have tons of data on our website. You can look up articles in the Journal of Horticulture. They're scientifically peer-reviewed articles that have a lot of our data from different plant trials that we've run, and it works great on any flowering crop. But being from Colorado, we obviously dabbled with the cannabis, and we see such a huge increase in overall yield using that because of that extra phosphorus uptake. That's kind of the market that we ended up in, was in cannabis. So one of the microbiologists, Colin Bell, he left the university, and he actually, the first batches of Mammoth were brewed in his garage. We were a startup. We didn't have much money. We got funding and, had some investors come in, and went from his garage to a transmission shop that he rented out and cleaned up. And now we're in the facility he got after that. We're still there, and we make everything in-house. We have a lab there. We make it, bottle it, ship it all out of one facility. Our office is there, right in Fort Collins. So we still have some greenhouses and stuff off-site, and we do still do some stuff at the university. So we have access to a little bit of equipment there.
Using, as you said, across the board with every kind of garden, whether it be organic, hydroponics, basically out of any grown medium, right? Exactly, yeah. So it works with any nutrient system in any medium, which is really nice. It's very compatible with, especially in cannabis, there's no nutrient line you can't use it with, and it works. We see very similar results across the board, whether it's hydroponics, organics, synthetics, cocoa, rock wool. You get benefits out of it in a lot of different ways. I do remember where it started in that white bottle. I remember that white bottle, bro.
The very first product, or the very first version of the product we took to market. So Rhode Island was pretty good at helping us, kickstart this whole thing. I had relationships with a number of the store owners, just from helping folks out on various grows and stuff like that, from somewhere around 2007, 2008, when it all started here in Rhode Island. I got involved pretty quickly.
Yep.
And ultimately, helping people to put up smaller grows and stuff like that. I built relationships, and when it was time to launch the product, I went back to those folks that I had been doing business with and said, "Hey, look, can you you want to test this for me? And, a lot of great guys in the state and Southern New England, believed in us and, gave us a shot. And obviously you see where it's come. And since I think the very first version was released late 2015.
That's what I want to talk to you about.
Dude,
Oklahoma. What is up with Oklahoma? Shed some light. You've been boots on the ground there.
All right. So in 1 year, I'd gotten out there 19 times and sprinkled a little Detroit, a little bit of all the other ones.
8 Mile. How you doing?
So I've made a lot of great relationships out there, man. And you start to see grow shops pop up, just kind of like here, right? But just on a much, much larger scale.
Yeah.
Much larger scale. And then you get all the outside inputs coming in, rushing into the middle.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a melting pot for this industry, right? Like the two coasts. You've got reps from Cali and the West Coast and reps from here, kind of, like it's just a weird kind of dynamic. Folks from all over the place. But yeah, so we were standing in the hot parking lot in the middle of tornado season, and boom, the siren goes on. And I was like, and everybody was just calm, cool, and collected who was from Oklahoma. And then you could tell all of the reps from who were out of town when the alarm went on who had heard it for the first time.
This is new, right?
Yeah. That's the new toy. That's
Shaggin' Wagon?
Yeah. We used to Air Force number 2.
Yeah.
So we got that because now we can travel the country, right? Even if COVID shuts us down, we have the ability to go where we want, when we want, do what we want, and still see our customer base. There was another picture. So I am in the top left of that, right? So
Okay.
the other picture was not picture perfect. I was like, oh, that's cool, right? Everybody, it doesn't have to be me. Everybody,
What kind of rush is that? Jump out your plane the first time. You remember that one?
Yeah, you don't forget it.
Tell me about it, bro. I want to know.
That's just, you know what?
I like floating, and I've done like the parasailing, but jumping out of a perfectly good plane is kind of tough for me. You do any base jumping?
No.
I had a buddy that went up there. He used to do jump town, but he was big into like base jumping.
Yeah, some of those guys are crazy, right? Like, they're insane, some of the stuff they do.